Welcome back to Uncle Danny Cooks. Today we're going to be doing Uncle Danny's famous chicken sandwiches. I say they're famous because I said they are, so therefore they are. Um, what we're going to do is we're going to start out with boneless, skinless chicken breast that you see over here on the board. Okay? The tender is this little part over here. Okay? You can literally just pull it off. That's the chicken tender. If you wanted the chicken tender, that's a chicken tender right there. Alright, now you have the rest of the breast. Okay? And you want to get a fairly sharp knife. And what you want to do is you want to put your hand on top of the breast with fingers up. Kind of like really stressed out up. And you're going to take the knife and you're going to cut into the breast. Okay? What you're trying to do is you're trying to fillet the breast. Okay, so you're going to just keep your hands and fingers up, and you're going to just run the blade through. Okay, and you have a nice piece of chicken breast. Okay, it's not the full breast, but it's a filleted piece of chicken breast. It's about half the piece. Okay, and you have another piece over here. Now, if it's too thick, if you feel that this is too thick and you want to go thinner, you can go thinner. Okay, now the great thing about this is it's really going to be what you want to do. How much work do you want to put into this? It's not a hard hard dish. Whether you're going to put as much work as you want. Okay, again, I'm looking for that tender. I just put my finger in there. All right, and there we go. The tender comes right out. Okay, and again, fingers up, and knife, there you go, down. Okay, now you can kind of open it up like that. All right, it's almost you bring it all the way through, and you open it up, and that's called a butterfly. This is a butterfly breast. Okay, now you can do many things with it, but for our purposes, we're just going to keep it as pieces here. Okay, we're not butterflying them unless you want to keep it that way. Alright, and we're going to get through the rest of this chicken over here, going through the same method. Okay, we're going to get some nice fillets over here. Alright, in the background you're going to see my deep fryer, and you're going to hear it bubbling over there. It's because I just cleaned it and added new oil. So, but the deep fryer is not for the chicken. It's for actual fresh French fries. So you're going to be using a nice pan to make the chicken. It's going to come out nice and crispy. It's going to be healthy, and it is not going to be breaded. Okay, but it is going to be crispy. So I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll come back and we'll go over the next steps. Oh, look! All the chicken is spread out here on my cutting board. All right, we're going to do the next step of preparation. This is the important step. This is where you're going to take your salt and sprinkle it, not heavily, but you want some flavor there. Sprinkle the salt onto the chicken. Okay, get a nice dispersal of salt. Fresh ground pepper or pepper if you don't have the grinder. Quite all right. Okay. Alright. There we go. That is now ready to start. Okay. So from here on, we are going to get over to the stove and get our pan ready. Okay. So we have our cast iron pan. I like using cast iron pan for this. It is I think it works better. I have my oil nice and hot, as you can see. Now I got my chicken breast, the salt and pepper side down. I'm laying it away from me. Okay, you hear that? That's a nice little sizzle going on over there. I'm going to fill up my space here. We want to hear this sizzle. This sizzle is very important because we want to get a nice golden color out of this chicken. Okay. Now, the chicken is in the pan, okay? We're going to, on the non-seasoned side, now we're going to season that with salt and pepper. Now we're going to continue to let this cook because we want to get it nice and golden brown on each side. Okay, get yourself a trusty pair of tongs and lift up. Okay, it is not quite where I want it to be. Make it jump a little bit. Okay, so the oil I'm using is extra virgin olive oil at this time, but a good oil to use is a nice vegetable oil, Smart Balance, canola oil. A light oil that has a high cooking temperature is very good. Alright. As you can see, I'm really not doing a lot. I'm not manipulating this a lot, okay? I'm lifting and looking, but there's not a lot of manipulation. What I may end up doing is move the chicken around a little bit and get different pieces on the hotter side, but I'm not turning it over. As you can see, I haven't turned over the chicken. I have turned it around, trying to make sure that you're getting, you know, the chicken in the hotter side. I like to get myself a little plate and or container, put some paper towel in it, okay? That is where we're going to put the chicken when it's done. Alright, you see how that piece right there is golden? That's perfect, that's where we want it. Okay, look, we've got nice golden color. That's how we like to get the chicken. That means that we got a nice crispy side there. So it is going to be a crispy piece of chicken. Okay? Now mind you, what I'm doing is I'm turning each piece. Before I turn it, I'm just making sure I have good color. This one doesn't have the color I want yet, so we're not going to turn that one. But what we may do is move it over to a hotter piece of the pan. Alright. There we go. So as you can see, I've just finished taking out the chicken. It has been it is nice golden on both sides. I put it to the side in the paper towel with the plate with the paper towel, and I'm going to continue to cook my chicken. We're going to let this sit for a little bit, and then we're going to get ready to make our sandwiches. Okay, so the next important part on the chicken sandwich is, believe it or not, bread. Okay, the bread choice you make is going to be very important. And so, if you're able to get a nice hoagie roll, okay, you can use that. Or if you want, you can get a good quality hamburger roll, okay, and you can use that. Whatever you want to use. Now, what I like to do, great thing about hamburger rolls is they're pre-split. But the hoagie rolls, what you want to do is you want to get it in your hand, okay? You want to make sure that you're cutting with a nice again, sharp knife, sharp bread knife. All right. You're going to cut through, not all the way. Okay? You don't want to cut through all the way. Take your time. You don't want to cut yourself. Okay? And you can see I have a nice roll there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this in the oven and let it warm up and crisp up on the outside a little bit. I put it in at 325 for about 5 minutes. You know, but you know, you can put it in the toaster, whatever you want to do. But in a crusty bun, you know, a crusty piece of bread or a nice warm piece of bread just adds to that sandwich flair. All right, so we're gonna get the bread in the oven, and then we're gonna go to the next step. All right, so next what we're gonna do is get the vegetable side of the sandwich. Now, really, everyone has different preferences for what they want on a sandwich. You know, but I like to have tomato. Well, the minimum is tomato and lettuce. You know, I like sometimes to have onion, but you know, not everyone likes onion. So again, everyone's going to have their preference. Now over here I have a huge tomato. Okay, what we want to do is, now if you have a really sharp knife, you can use the really sharp knife and you can cut the tomato. Now, all right, if you have a smaller tomato and you just want to do slices, you're going to take the end of the tomato and you're going to slice it through, okay? And you're just going to make some slices, okay? Nice slice of tomato, okay? Tomato like this, it's a little bit big. So I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to cut it in half and give myself, again, nice slices. Now, I'm going to teach you guys a mind-blowing trick. Sometimes you don't have sharp knives like Uncle Danny, but you do have a bread knife. And a bread knife cuts tomatoes really well. Okay? So, you want to, you know, you don't want to force it. You want to saw through it, not force it. Forcing it is not going to get what you want. Okay, you're going to end up with a crushed, squishy tomato. Not good. Okay, so if you have sharp knife, use sharp knife. You don't have sharp knife, use bread knife. All right, lettuce. Now you want to get yourself a nice, tasty lettuce. Green lettuce, iceberg lettuce is okay, but there's really no flavor to it. I like romaine lettuce, or I'm using green lettuce or red lettuce. All right, now you can do it one way, is you can do it, just take a whole leaf and then you would put the tomatoes on that. Or if you want, you can do it a slightly different way, and that would be shredded lettuce. All right, so you would take however much lettuce you want. Okay, and this is where you get your knife again. All right, and you just shred it into strips. Okay. Now you got some nice shredded lettuce. All right. Again, onion, the same way that we would always cut onion. You slice onion if you want to put onion. If you want a nice spicy mayo, you take hot sauce and mayonnaise, mix those together. Ketchup, mayo, whatever you want to put on it. There's no right or wrong. And we're gonna go into the final putting everything together. You're gonna take that nice warm bread. You'll put in that dressing, the mayonnaise, whatever you want. You put that onto the bread. You put in the tomatoes, the lettuce, and then the chicken. Now with the chicken, you can have it as a whole piece, or you can slice it into strips, so it's easier. And then you would just put that into the sandwich. Whatever you want to do. But this is for you. These are the tips to make amazing chicken sandwich. Enjoy.